Hello, Trailer Fam. We're here once again. Today we have with us Juan.
Yes.
He's a driver here in the out of the Baltimore area.
Yeah, Baltimore area. Yeah.
Okay, and
Baltimore.
he's here today with us out the trailer to give us a little bit of what's going on with him in his world.
Oh man, well, I'm a real simple guy. You know, I like to keep things real, keep things simple. I'm a straightforward type of person. You know, trucking is something that I do. It's not who I am.
Okay.
And I would like to say that to anybody out here in this industry, you know, because we see a lot of brothers and sisters out here wear it as if it's like their identity. It's like, nah, you know, again, there's so much more to you. But that's just to give a little bit, you know, about myself. I like to be around friends, family, and I'm out there on the road. So that's how I like to keep it.
Okay.
Keep it real simple.
And you've been driving for how long?
I've been driving for about roughly 4 years now.
Okay.
Now, hold on. Now, you might teach some of us off if you say you saying you don't identify as a truck driver.
Not at all, no.
Oh, wow.
I can't identify as that because I feel as though there's a big stigma when it comes down to what is a truck driver? A lot of people think, you know, big belly, you know, looking all crazy, talking crazy, and all of that, you know, and every, you know, as the camera see, we don't fit that mold. You know, again, we out here doing all different kinds of things. You know, like for example, me being here on this podcast. You see what's going on, you know, it's out the trailer. You know, this is a beautiful trailer right here. You know, this ain't, trucking might have helped it, but it's far deeper than that. So that's why I say that.
Okay. But you're right, though. Most of the truckers you see, they got the big bellies.
Exactly.
They don't earn them, though. You know, I don't think
Definitely
they set out to
them.
get that, though. But that's what they end up being.
Yeah, that is a fact.
Yeah, but it's hard to avoid that. You know, just what if you grew up, you know, not being someone that could prepare your own food or cook. You left to eat out, you know, outside the truck, and you're gonna grow to be what you are.
I agree.
So, so you're not putting truck drivers down. You're just saying that.
No.
Because I'm gonna be real, because it's a difference. Because you see those guys, they be dirty from head to toe, and I used to be like, man, why don't he just take a bath? But it's deeper than that. Because what if he's an owner operator that's going up and they're working on his own truck or a flatbedder? So you got to give respect to those people. You know, they're not dirty because they just want to be dirty. They're out here working. So I do get it, but it's a difference because I'm not somebody that's out here smoking cigarettes and on the CB hauling up and down the highway. I'm not the type of trucker.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. You know, I'm definitely not dissing any of those brothers and sisters.
Okay.
It's just that normally when we're out here, when you hear people think of a truck driver, like for example, like when I tell people that I drive trucks, th're like, "Oh, you a truck driver?"
No, because you look more like a little model now.
I appreciate that,
You
but
better not say nothing.
we ain't trying to start no trouble here on out the trailer.
She
but
stayed quiet, driver.
respect. But yeah, no, again, that's definitely no diss to them. It's just you hear so many people outside of us speak in that way, and that's why I'm saying no. It's a lot deeper than that.
It is.
Yeah, it's definitely no nod to them. No, I understand the situation.
And some people use trucking as a springboard to get into other stuff, just like strippers do. You know, on the pole. You know, a lot of them end up being nurses and lawyers. So, you know, everybody don't aspire to stay in truck driving. But for me, I'm a trucker through and through. You know, I'm not hard pressed. I don't put people down who don't take this serious, but I do. And but it's you come into it in different modes, and you develop different personalities and different ways to handle your business while you're out here. And I don't knock people that are company drivers versus owner operators. That's not. We're all drivers.
Absolutely.
All drivers.
Absolutely.
But what got you into this?
Funny enough, despite me coming from a line of a lot of drivers, what got me into it was I was doing warehouse work. And one day I was just politicking with a driver, just talking to him. And I asked him, you know, how much did they pay you? Because I used to work in receiving. And I used to unload the trucks. And so I just asked him, like, you know, hey, how much do you make from just doing X, Y, Z? He told me how much he made. I said, again, let's work smarter, not harder. So that's how I ended up wanting to get into trucking on my own merit like that. So and that's how now we're here.
So with the 4 years up under your belt, what do you think about it so far?
So far, what I think about it, a lot has changed. You know, I talk to a lot of the OGs in the trucking game, people who've been driving for 10 plus years and stuff like that, and the way how they speak then in comparisons to now is like night and day. Like it is so different. But so far, what I see, it's from a company standpoint. I can't speak from the owner operator standpoint because I'm not an owner operator.
Right, but it's not a bad thing though.
Right, and from a company standpoint, it's bad out here.
Right,
and the reason why I say it's bad is because there's a lot of companies out here lying to drivers. They lie very, very bad. And when you have a person that's willing to not only give their experience but their time, don't lie to the people. Man.
Right.
You know, you know, these people out here sacrificing. You know, we out here sacrificing our lives and most importantly our time that we do not get back.
Right.
So no, be honest about what the job is really about. And so many companies are doing that, and that's what's making it just honestly terrible. And a lot of companies are starting to see their seeds grow from sowing those bad seeds. So, a lot of drivers getting fed up.
So what would be the discrepancy? So they're telling you this, but it's actually that. So what would that actually be? Just maybe a couple of examples.
Okay, so an example will be, a company will say, and this is crazy, you'll have a company say, we're starting off with this pay.
Right.
Under, let's say they have a pay range depending on how many years you have.
Okay.
So they'll say, hey, we're going to give you this amount of pay, but then as soon as you sign on to the job or whatever, you can't make that amount of pay because of, let's say, the politics of favoritism.
Right.
Dispatch want to give to their favorite guys or the guys who've been the longest or whatever, instead of just saying, hey, instead of being open and honest in the interview saying, hey, this is, hey, you got to work your way up. You know what I mean? Like just being,
it's tears in it.
It's tears in it. Just be upfront. Don't sit right here and say, oh, we're going to offer this or give you this. One whole time, I really don't have no shot or chance to do it because you don't really value what I'm bringing to the table because of how long I have not been here.
Right.
Not because of what I can do, not because I show up on time, not because I keep my logs accurate, not because I keep my cab clean and making sure everything right. You're treating me based off of just me not being here. When it's like, well, if that's the case, then you need to take the experience sticker off the resume. Then why are you asking for 3+ years experience when you want to treat me like a novice if it don't matter? And it's a lot of companies out here that's doing that, and I just think that's wrong.
So you OTR or regional or local?
So I did a little bit of regional, but I'm primarily local.
Okay.
Primarily local. Yeah.
Now I don't know if you do the local like me. We got this new category me and my son came up with. It's called OTR, but it's OTR local because we run local, but we don't get to come home. So
I think I know what you mean by that.
So what we're saying is some of the loads, it just makes sense not to cut back another 40 miles to go home or buy the house when the load is about 20 miles away. So now you add 40 plus 20, another 60 miles. So that's what we call OTRL. So OTR local. So
I feel you. I know exactly what you mean by that because it get like
category.
that. Whole new category. It get like that because there's been a whole bunch of times where as though jobs to send you all the way out to Richmond and then want you to come back, but it's like that's a 4-hour drive just back and forth alone. We ain't even so much drive time we get now. We get a lot of shift time, but drive time is only 8 hours. So you pushing
hours.
it. You know what I'm saying? Like it just pushed the times as far as like that we have out here. Count for traffic and all different kinds of things that we can mess up our clock.
Now up there, I don't see how y'all drive up there. I done been through Virginia several times and I've never liked it. Even when I'm thinking it's running smooth at nighttime and then we hit a traffic jam, I can't do it no more.
Yeah, that traffic is bad in the DMV.
Imagine doing that in Jersey. Imagine driving in Jersey.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I tried that too.
It's right. It get real crazy. But Maryland, again, one thing about them, everybody think they know what they doing.
Right.
They don't. They have no clue. I would say honestly, and shout out to all my Delaware people, but I'm gonna be honest, y'all the worst. I thought it was Virginia. I thought it was Pennsylvania, but no, Delaware got it by a long shot because Delaware, the pedestrians, the way how they move, it's just you would have thought they got. I know they're the first state, but you would have thought they was the last state to get their license.
I'm not gonna take that. Small as that state is, because you could blink and you out of Delaware.
Yeah,
exactly.
And you say they're the worst,
and that's what I'm saying. It's crazy because you would think because they're the smallest, because of all these different kinds of things, they're not the worst. But no, they are the worst. They cause the most of the trouble I've gotten while being behind that, being in front of that freight. Is with a Delaware tag. Yeah. That's the most I've ever dealt with.
And it's crazy that you say that because most of the mishaps that I see or I'm about to get into in the truck, it come from other truck drivers.
Yeah.
I agree to that.
Man, you ought to see my dash cam. I got ran off the road in FedEx. I'm gonna say your name. I got ran off the road by FedEx. I got it on dash cam.
I'm not surprised.
I was in the road. I was in the highway and my lane was running out, but I was ahead of him. But he just said, "I'm gonna pass you," to the point that he ran me off the road. I'm gonna actually put it up online so people can see it.
And it's funny you bring that up because on the other end, from the trucker's perspective, yes, I ain't gonna lie, we need to start being more courteous out here. I don't know what that's about.
Down.
And it's like, what do you gain out of the fact that, okay, if you see I'm in a company vehicle, we got restrictors on how fast we can go.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you sitting right there being anal? You see I got a seal on the back of my trailer. I'm loaded. I'm going up a mountain already. You know the business.
Oh, yeah.
Why is you honking? Why is you behind me honking? Yeah. If I'm going too slow, just go around me. What you honking for? Looking over, doing all of that.
And you
cut
may
that out,
be
man.
empty, and if I'm fully loaded, I can't do what you can do. And
exactly.
they no respect.
No respect.
Back when I started in trucking, when we passed the truck, we used to do the thing like the bikes. We used to wave at each other.
Okay.
That don't happen no more.
No.
Oh, a guy waved at me the other day. I didn't even know how to act.
Right, yeah. He was like,
I said, man, I need to stop the truck, turn around and go tell him I apologize.
Thought you struck gold.
Yeah, because he was coming back with the old fuck, and I was like, okay. So let me start doing this again. So I waved to the truckers. And I'm about 50-50 on the response. You know, some doing, some don't. But I wish they would return back to that. But trucking is way different from when I started. I've been in it 24 years. Oh, it's
super
rough.
Cutthroat.
What they say, gatekeeping, I mean, they won't tell you nothing. They'll sit there and watch you fumble and mess up, and they rather record it than say, hey, young man, do it like this.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's going to segue to a whole nother topic that I definitely want to speak to everybody who's going to watch this. As a people, we got to stop doing that. All of that gatekeeping, you know, what are we doing? Like, how can you see a young brother or a young sister or anybody who you say that you love or whatever, you see them trying to make it, but yet, you know, y'all on that topic of the game is to be sold, not to be told. And you wonder why we don't move as a nation. We won't move as a people. Right. You got to cut that out. And that's something I really, really despise, because it costs nothing. The same way how 9 times out of 10, you probably got your information for free.
Yeah.
Well, it costs you nothing. That ain't stopping your paper. That ain't stopping your money. So give that to the brothers and sisters. And you know, who
you can't pull nothing. You can't pull every load out here.
Exactly.
But
so what are you doing?
They rather hug that information, because they say, hey, if he get in here, he might pull one load more than me. And it's the craziest mindset that I've ever seen. They won't help you.
They will
and
not
not
help
realize
you.
that what's for you is for you.
Yeah.
No one can take it away from you.
But
when you pay it forward, then you put yourself in a better position and in a greater space to receive.
That's what I'm saying. And that's something that, as a nation, I don't know how we're going to be able to do that, but we definitely got to put a cracking on that. Like, I see so many people on TikTok, and, you know, Instagram. It's and it's sad, because again, I love one thing about me. If to know me, I love my people. I love us. I'm for us all the time, every time, regardless, good, bad, ugly, and different. I'm standing by us. One of the things I do not like to see on social media and all throughout these places is how it's always us saying, hey, if you want more game, hey, buy this, that, and the third. It's like, come on, man. It's like, what are you doing? And then if you do invest, they ain't even gonna tell you the whole thing. You know, and so it's just it's a lot of scamming. Right, it's a whole bunch of scamming and stuff going on, and I wasn't raised that way. I'm not that kind of brother. If I know something, I'm gonna give it, because only you know what you got on you and what you can give and all of that. And no, it costs nothing. Information is free. That's how a lot of these other nations move, because they share. They don't gatekeep. We got to stop gatekeeping.
I don't see that changing no time soon.
Me neither.
I mean, because it seems like it's a badge of honor to say, hey, I got it and you can't get it, and if you want it, pay me. That's just where we at right now. So for me, trucking is still a big part of my life, even though it's changed a lot. What I'm learning to do is embrace the change. Because all of it not bad.
No, it's not.
But a good bit of it comes with patience. And I know a lot of y'all younger guys that came in, y'all came in up under ELD. We from paper log. So that
big
transition
difference
for us was hard.
Yeah. Really,
really hard. And the DOT was giving us years to get right, you know, and we still couldn't do it.
Right.
Because we weren't used to it. A lot of us lost tens of thousands of dollars a year just implementing the ELD, because we didn't know how to use it. But I think now, if you just go ahead and just say, you know what, this ain't going nowhere. The robot trucks coming. The company just ordered, what's that, Hirschbach? Just ordered 500 autonomous trucks.
I'm glad you hitting on all the topics, because that was the next thing. I was going to ask you, how do you feel about the automation? Because we know it's coming. It's here.
Sir, so, I'm OTL. I'm over the road local. So I don't care, because they can't run local because they can't bump docks yet. They just over the road.
But it's coming.
It's definitely coming.
And I feel as though, in regards of our industry, you know, this is a dying industry because of automation. Because one thing about it, they're working their way from big to small.
Right.
It's about, you know, sample sizes and different things. Again, I honestly don't see it not being fully automated within the next 15 years.
Let me tell you something. To be honest with you. They at one time they had a projection to have 60,000 trucks on the road, autonomous trucks by 2035. I think it's going to surpass that. And you got to think. Look at what's going on in the warehouses. Who on the forklifts now?
You know, the robots. Our robots in there. You know what I mean?
And look,
Siri and Alexa in there.
Now, this what I can say, though. I kind of like the robot better.
I can see why.
The robot not going in and out of my trailer with crazy speed, going through my walls and stuff is precise. It ain't disrespectful. Taking that robot different now.
I agree.
And I actually like the robot on check-in too, because that robot don't give me all that sass, because she know I checked in somewhere down in Dublin, Georgia. I ain't do nothing to this lady, and that lady let me have it.
Yeah.
To the point where I just wanted to go home and cry. It was just that bad.
Wow. It was bad.
Yeah, what complexion? What was the complexion?
She was us. Our people. You know what I'm saying?
That's all I got to say is dang. Dang.
She was us.
On more than one occasion with her, though, right?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I wanted to tell her she needed it.
I don't know. Wifey might got to go check her. You know what I mean? She might got the house for you. She might like you.
That lady was the size of me and you. Wife would be down there and got 8 on, sat on there. She'd have to bring something.
We can't do wifey like that.
Yeah, we ain't going to do it like that.
I ain't going to let her do it like
that. That right there was she was ready for whatever. Because she would then back down from me. So I just said, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, that is a crazy thing.
So I like the robots. I like the automation in regards to that. And then I do like it when it comes to load check calls. Because most people, when they call you, they may not make the notation that they've called you. Then you get another call. So with the what they call them, with the automated calls, it's already documented, and they actually record the conversation.
Right.
So you don't get that additional load check call. So I do like that.
Okay.
But the other parts that I don't like is taking jobs away. I don't like that.
Of course, because everybody's gonna suffer, and that's the thing. Is like the same way how at the end of the day it is beneficial right now. People from a economical standpoint is not gonna benefit. Like people like me and you, like the elites, they gonna benefit from that. But
right.
You know, it's not meant for us to benefit. You know, but that's why they're getting us. It's a slow death. You know, one thing about slow death, again, you can't come back from that. Something that's quick, you might can recover. But as you can see, they're gradually introducing things little by little, bit by bit, to get us accustomed to it, think it's beneficial.
Yeah.
We like it. The next thing you know, hey, your job gone.
Yeah.
You know, hit the road. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's
a tough one. But we're seeing this all throughout all industries.
So your training, how did it come by? Was it just natural, or did you have to go to school?
As far as like me learning how to drive, definitely I had to go to school.
Okay,
I had to go to school. With me doing the school bus, I got my training through that specific company. Then when I upgraded my license, this is brother out here, out there in Baltimore, Robin Hill Road, named Derek. Very genuine brother. He out there. He has his own trucking school. Cool. So he took me under his wing.
Derek.
You know, one thing about him, he's really for us. He's really for as a people first. He's a man before anything. And one thing about it, he's a real knowledgeable brother who keeps close ties to his drivers. You know, that's one of his niches, that he doesn't want to be like your typical trucking school that take your money or whatever, or get over on you and then leave you out. Oh, well, I got your money.
Well, what's the name of the school?
Robin Hill Road.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Robin Hill Road, yeah.
Yeah, I got to look that up then. We're going to take your word on that now.
I'm being honest. I'm a product of it.
I went to one of them 16-day programs.
Okay.
I ain't learned nothing.
It'd be like that.
I just kidding. I learned a lot. See, we already had trucks before I went to school. So, but and with that, I thought I knew everything I needed to know, and I didn't. So I learned quite a bit. And then you mostly really learn it once you get on the road.
That's the best way when you're in the field.
Yes.
You know,
experience is always the best teacher.
Yes, man. You said it.
But I got a son. He's in flatbed, and he's a trainer. I wouldn't be a trainer because I think my first week out on the road with mine, we went through the mountains, and he just said, "Man, I don't even know why they got you training with me, because you know what you're doing." But he didn't understand the truck was running away in Tennessee in the mountains. I could barely control it.
Okay.
But he thought I was really on the mark. I was like, he just don't know. We 2 more turns away from death.
From death. All right, you faking it till you make it out there.
I was hanging on. I was leaning like I was in a Corvette, trying to just make it stay upright. But it was that was scary. I mean, then after that, I learned how to control the speed going down the mountains.
For me in the mountains, I hear a lot of drivers speak about that. For me, thankfully, I never really had that problem with it comes down to mountain driving and dealing with that. I never was fazed by it. I looked at it like, as a driver, and this is a key tip to anybody trying to get into this industry. Learn how to stop before you learn how to go.
Right.
If you keep that in your mind, if you know how to control, and the only way you know how to control something is slow and steady always wins the race. So that's what I have to say to that. And so with me having that, thankfully, I was able. Mountains never really fazed me, because it's like one thing about it. I don't care. Again, and that's another thing. You're going to be going slower than a lot of other people.
Oh, yeah.
They can go around. They all right. You know what I mean? Again, only you know your limits and know what you can and cannot do. So forget what they talking about. Forget them horns. Control your vehicle, man.
Yeah, and a lot of that, what you learn about a mountain, when you top one, you normally going down. That you normally descend once you get on top of one.
As soon as you get on top.
Oh, and see, that's why that night went the way it went. Because when we climbed that mountain, I thought we was going to go straight, flat. Oh, no.
Nah.
Oh, no.
You got a lot more. Again, when he had to go up, it got to come down. What goes up must come down.
Yeah. So that's what happened that night. But so what's your passions outside of trucking?
My passions outside of trucking. That is a very good question. I would say investing in people.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And the reason why I say that is because we need one another.
Right.
From a spiritual standpoint, I am Hebrew. Okay. So, I'm a believer in the Bible from Genesis to Revelations. Okay. And so it's just like, we need one another. We need to be able to invest and grow with one another. And we're at a space where I feel as though that is needed. And so little by little, I try to invest in us, whether that be through a positive message, giving my time, right. Whatever it is. Another passion, being able to, I like to listen to music. Right. I'm a very, like I said in the beginning of the interview, I'm a simple guy. I like being around family, love, things of that nature. Right. But those are some little bit of my passions, right. Outside of trucking or outside of the industry.
But you appear to be very compartmentalized for a 26-year-old. Yeah. How we get there?
The Most High, first and foremost.
Okay.
Second of all, experience.
Right.
Pain.
Okay.
I've experienced some things in my life at 26. Now I haven't experienced everything, and I know the same way how people have had a better life than me, people have had a worse life than me.
Right.
Absolutely.
But the things that have been shown to me, all praise to the Most High for giving me this, has given me discernment and and pulling me through that pain.
Okay.
And from that, just utilizing what I've grown through and what I've seen.
Right.
And that's how I am right now, So
yeah,
all praises and glory go to Him.
Yeah, I always let my pain be my power, because it's always somebody else dealing with something a lot more than you are.
Always.
And then they say He'll never give you more than you can handle. Never. You got to believe that. I mean, even the setup today, you saw what was happening.
It's funny you say that, brother, because and from a different perspective, sometimes in order for us to break out of our comfort zone, the Most High can give us more than we can handle, so we can rely on Him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you see where I'm going there with it? Because it's like, if we in our comfort zone, how can we really grow?
Right.
Yeah.
So I get where you coming from, you know what I mean?
Right.
But, through Him, you can accomplish all things.
Right.
And so, just to add to, what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. Because you cannot become independent of Him.
Never.
No.
Never. Not if you're a believer.
No.
So how many more years of trucking you think you got left in you?
I would say as many years that will allow me to become my own boss.
Okay.
And whatever that may be. So, so it may be owner operating, doing something else, doing another industry or whatever. But for as long as I can be able to sustain myself without being hands-on, that's how long. So it may be 1 year.
Yeah,
6 months,
you got
maybe 5 years, maybe whatever, but exactly, we definitely got to hurry up because automation is here.
Because your co-driver going to be a robot.
Co-driver, he kicking me out.
No,
he kicking me straight out.
The thing was, they said that they was always going to need human personnel in the truck,
Right.
And when they show early demonstrations of it, that the driver was always laying in the bed while the truck going down the road, right, just in case something go wrong. And I don't understand that.
You know why? It's not meant for you to understand, brother, because it's foolishness.
Right.
Because all it's doing is it's a way to it's the way to play on us that make it seem like, oh no, you guys are still valuable. You guys still need to be around. But no, they don't need us. They don't want us. Again, think about it. If we're training, they already have all of these different kinds of things that's stealing our data, stealing how we think, stealing how we move, practicing our paradigm. These trucks they can tell what driver's in a truck and he's off that day. You know what I mean? They can tell the driver just off of the analytics. So they're stealing all of this.
Not just that. Think about this, right? Mm-hmm. So also in your ELD, you got this. You upload your driver license. What's on your driver license? Yep. My age, my race, my address. Right. So now I got your region. I got the type of work you do. I got the type of truck you drive.
That's what I'm saying.
How you drive, where you drive, how much money you make. And they say they don't have data mine.
Come on now.
It's there.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I said, with you seeing these human truckers or whatever, right, and alongside the robot, they're just there to make it seem like, hey, we still, it's a mind game, man. It's foolishness. It ain't meant for us to understand.
I'm
mad. We ain't a part of the mix.
I'm mad. So can we be mad at the drivers that go and work for the autonomous companies to help them put us out of business?
That is a good question.
I get a little beside myself with that.
That's a good question. I would say at that point, it depends on where your morals and values.
Right.
And it's subjective. Because I can see, like, what you're saying is like, listen, we all trying to survive. At the end of the day, everybody's out here trying to survive.
Yeah. Right.
But it gets to a point where, as though, on a greater good, how good are you? Is it survival, or are you just trying to get over? Because if you know that this thing on a long term is going to put not only you out of business, your children's children.
Right, there you go.
What good is that?
Right.
And you got to ask yourself that as a man or woman. And that's why I said it comes down to your morals and values at that point.
The autonomous trucks is almost dropping the nuclear bomb.
Exactly.
It's going to be, because with Hirschbach going in ordering 500 trucks, they didn't just say, hey, let me get 2 or either 5, but 500.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of trucks.
That's a lot
of freight. a lot of trucks,
right?
A lot of money they don't gotta pay nobody.
Right.
They don't gotta pay.
And then they told dispatch. Oh, they going next. They told their dispatch, we're gonna pay you more because now, we ain't got to pay drivers. So if we're getting autonomous trucks, we can go to AI dispatch.
It's funny you bring that up
too,
because that's a good thing that you brought up, because now it got me thinking. What about the brokers? Yeah, they getting up out of here too, right?
No, they already faced with that type of raft that's coming through there. It's pretty rough. Okay. Highway is coming through there, and they've taken over. They wiped them out. And then I talked to, and actually we're not crazy about brokers, but we got a broker. She's retired now, and she said, y'all just don't know. I mean, we bear the brunt too. She said every new client that we got, they may use a different TMS system, and you have to buy that system in order to do business with them. You may have 20 of them, and you got thousands of dollars in them, and then your computers are overloaded. You can't use them. I never thought about it in that context. I said, okay, for a small brokerage, that's a lot. Yeah. And I started feeling bad. I said, because that wave is coming through, so it's just a whole industry that's looking for a way out. Because even the factoring companies, they're in the bind. Yeah. Because the brokerages and the mega carriers, they're offering discounts, for quick pay. Yeah. So what you need factoring for most of it? So everybody just fighting to survive.
It's a dying industry, brother, and it ain't just ours. There's so many others, and this is what we see as a people going on. And this is when I was talking, to wifey off camera. I'm like, what are ways that we can, we know that these things are gonna manifest within itself. It's nothing that we can necessarily do to stop the system, but what are ways that we can get out of that system to manage ourselves as a people, because we know that this system is crashing every day. Right. It doesn't matter what you believe in, who you believe in. We are seeing it every day. This system is falling one way or another for everybody. Right. So what are we going to do as human beings by the time that we do have, before things get too crazy out of our hands, to control, okay, all right, if we know that these things are going amok, what are ways we can try to combat this? We need to start brainstorming. Yeah.
We need to come together, because you got to look at what they did on the ports here, because the Port Authority realized that across seas, they're fully automated over there. Yes. And it's working for them. Yeah. So they wanted to bring that over here. But the union stuck together, and they showed them, we don't need that, because when you put these people out of work, where are they going to go? Right. We're all going to be content creators in a minute. Right. And guess what the subject matter going to be? I'm out of work, too.
I'm out of work.
I'm out of work, too.
That's going to be the new genre.
I'm out of work, too. Well, what you doing? I'm going to film you out of work. Because there's nothing else for us to do. Absolutely. The robots is here. And I just think that it's a race to the bottom. Because absolutely. They supposed to be job creators. How are you doing that when you're putting us all out of business? And I felt bad, because a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, I hauled a load of robots. They didn't tell me it was robots. Right. I went and hauled it. Right. And I was hauling robots to a car manufacturer. And imagine how many people
are out of work.
Yeah. Behind that.
Yeah. And that's and that's what it is. It's like, it's something that nobody can necessarily prepare for, as far, because of expectation. But it's just like, now that we know that it's here, it ain't going nowhere. Again, it's like what you said, we got to start brainstorming, and it's tough out here for everybody, because we all surviving, we all trying to survive, and that's why we need to be trying to come together, put that pride and ego to the side, because there's some real things coming down the pipeline. It is, and it ain't stopping.
And I wonder if the robot's going to be able to do what we're able to do going down the highway. You see that little kid in the back of the car, and they honk it, they doing their hand like that because they want. Is a robot where the robot going to be able to return?
I think so. No. Here's the reason. No. Here's the reason why. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. You got to understand, brother. It's so many. Everything has a camera in it. Yeah. And anything that has a camera is recording you. And anything that's recording you is taking your data. It's mimicking you.
So you think it's going to honk the horn at the
kids? It's going to be set to a point where we already think about it. Think about the AI videos we see on social media. We're at a point where, as though, you got some people who can't even decipher. AI is starting to get so good that people are really starting to wait a minute, I can't even tell, is that real? Yeah. And so if you already doing that if I can do that from my own phone, what do you think these people who actually own the robots, oh man, they got like the movies that we see, the same way how they can reproduce and all, it's gonna get crazy, man. You can't put nothing past them.
I like to look out on Instagram with the old school cars and the big wheels, and he got so good at it, he riding down the street in the car. I was like, this is crazy. And we know it's AI, but we like, but he in the car now. Right. Right. So it's a bit much. It's a bit much. I don't think it'll be able to duplicate to that point, because look at the Waymos. They over here they report they were stuck in the neighborhood because they had the children at play signs. So they didn't want to hit a child, so they were stuck in the cul-de-sac, couldn't get out. You know, so I think it's still they still got some hurdles to overcome.
Oh no, yes, absolutely. But that's why I said honestly, I don't think we really have no more than 10 years left. I feel as though by 20 like what they said, 2035, just like they said, it's going to be full-fledged, full steam ahead. Yeah. You know, and we talking about a lot of jobs, at least 80%. Yeah. A lot of people going to be out of work at that point. You really going to see a lot of scrambling.
And I can't say I blame them, because how many times you want to go recover your truck because you got a problem with payroll or something like that. So they just going to cut out all the fat. We don't want to hear your mouth.
We don't want to hear nothing.
We don't want to say you overslept. We don't want to hear you say you got your women problem today. We don't want to hear none of that.
None of that. It's about dollars and cents.
That's it. And so from that perspective, I get it. But you know, as a race of people that you're in a position to help others, I think you need to keep creating jobs so we can keep doing what we're doing.
Right.
Because the one thing they want to do, they want to be able to sell products. We can't buy them if we ain't got no revenue.
No, we can't.
I don't know how they're gonna overcome that. So if you wasn't behind the wheel, man in the truck, what would you be doing?
That's a good question, brother. It could be a lot of different ways. A lot of different things, honestly. Psychologist, therapist, engineer.
Everything you just said is all encompassing truck driving.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm being honest. Like, I could go so many different ways with it. Yeah. I really don't know to give you a full-fledged answer. I just know that it'll be something that I want to do. Right. I personally want and like to do, and that I see has some kind of benefit of the long game. Because anything that I do, I'm trying to play for the long haul.
Right, there you go.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, you positive words. You playing for the long haul, not trying to.
Positive mindset.
Yeah, we know you got it. We can see, see how you stand, because I
appreciate that.
We don't meet many people of your age with your stance and your mindset. My son is training a guy right now out of Chicago, and he come from that element up there. Yeah. And man, I met him. He came down here and he said, man, I just saw something so different. Just from being around him and then being around you guys, he said, man, I'm liberated. I'm excited. I said, man, take my number, because if you ever need me, you got me. Yeah. Because I can understand the background. I come from the streets, and it was just good to see a brother just not wanting to be out there like that no more. And he said, man, I even got buddies, a few of them that they from out there too, and we all driving trucks now. And I said, I salute you. But
absolutely,
yeah. But he came to the house and we cooked for him, and we did all that good stuff, and we just showed him it's another way. Yeah,
and hats off to y'all for that, because that's what we need out here. Our people forget that environment and changes of environment is very major to how we become better people.
Oh yeah.
And it's so many of our people that's stuck in the struggle, not because they want to, but because that's all they know.
That's all they know.
It's all they know. And if they just had a sliver of seeing a different light, it'd change their whole perspective. Like, oh man, I gotta get out of here. Yeah. It's more life than that. And then you got some of our people, a lot of them, they become hopeless. Yeah. Because they generations being stuck, where they at, and they just like, it ain't no hope for me. They just give up on life. Yeah. And all I can say is, to all my brothers and sisters out there, you're way more than a statistic. You're way more than a EBT, anything of that nature that is considered a poor representation of us. You are far more than that. You're bigger than your pain. Oh, yeah. Use that pain to fuel you to live a better life and be better for yourself and those after you, because it's bigger than us out here. Yeah, we all share this rock together.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of them feel hopeless because they just don't have the information or the opportunity.
Absolutely.
And we'd be remiss and less than what we're supposed to be if we didn't give it to them.
And that goes back to when we first started this conversation. The game is to be sold, not to be told. Right. That sounds slick on records, but look at what it's doing. Look at what it's hurting. Right. Our people, again, what about that brother and sister who can't afford your game? Right. Again, what are we talking about here? Right. We're talking about you potentially liberating thousands, hundreds of thousands, by you just giving information. Right. But yet you want to charge, So, yeah, it's deep out here, and it is that deep.
Yeah. Well, hopefully through your wisdom and just your travels, people your age will say, hey, it is some hope. Let me look into myself and see what I'm not doing. Let me see if that information that brother talked about is real, and let me pursue it. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't, like you said, they despair. They just don't feel like tomorrow's going to come. Tomorrow's going to be better. Mm-hmm. And I tell a lot of them, man, trucking is a good path for a lot of us, men and women. Yes. I like that. And before this administration, I like the military. Because the military, to me, it sets you up in life right now and then later in life. Mm. We've seen that with a lot of our uncles and stuff like that went through it, but we know they went through a lot of trauma too. You know, a lot of them was involved in Vietnam or something like that, or the Iraq wars and stuff like that. And I don't like that part of it, but I think the military is a good tool for a lot of people. It's not necessary.
I understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, it's not necessary. But I'm just saying, if you lost,
trying to find a way.
Yeah.
And that's what it succomes to. Is better off than joining the gang. You know what I mean? Like, I get
that's what I'm trying to.
I get exactly what you mean by that, because it's like, of course, you know, if you really want to get into it, again, the military ain't no different than the gang.
Yeah.
But
right.
From the standpoint of what you're saying, if you're gotta pick a poison,
right?
I get what you mean by that.
Right. I mean, if you really want to talk about it, to me, it's the same with anything that's got some sort of structure. I mean, it's like that with motorcycle clubs. It's like that with saddle clubs. I mean, people got their own identity. They may not like the next club, so it's a little bit of tension there.
Right.
So I think that church can be like that. You know, so it depends on which one you join, right, and where you allow them to take you to. So you kind of got to go into stuff with some sort of perception of what it's supposed to be, what's real and what's not real.
Choose your environment.
Yeah, and that's how it is in trucking. You can get wrapped up with the wrong person. They can give you all the wrong information, and everything that you do in trucking is going to be bad.
Absolutely.
You know, you're just not going to succeed because you got the wrong person to help you along, and they're really not helping you.
Definitely not. They want to see you crumble. Sadly.
Yeah, so I'm not knocking that. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in faith, and I believe in everything I do, and I know we led by a higher power. So for me, I just don't like to see the younger guys that join the gangs and never look outside of that, you know, for anything other than this is what we're doing.
Right.
You know, and it's an epidemic to me.
It's a big epidemic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we being played out of position every day.
Yeah.
You know, we're watching them utilize our pain against us through our music, television, entertainment, all that. You know, they feed it back to us in such a way. Now, you know, we are products of it, you know, because we all sadly consume it in some way, shape, or form. So I would be lying and act like I don't, you know, consume it in some way, shape, or form. But, you know, I see the bigger game. For them, they want us to keep us. It's a big hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Keep them down.
Running in circles.
Running in circles.
And they're watching it.
And they're benefiting off of it. You know what I mean? Kanye West said it a while ago, you know, the white man get paid out of all of that. You know what I mean?
And it's so easy just to go in the neighborhood and pass out information about, hey, you can become a truck driver, you can do this, you can do that, you can go to technical school, you can get financial aid. It's easy to do that stuff.
It costs nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think sometimes our people get caught up in if people are actually listening to them. And it's like, no, you can't do that. Just do your part.
Right.
As long as you do your part, you can't control what the next man or woman does. So just as long as you know what you know, give that.
Right.
Again, you lead the horse to the water. Can't make them drink it.
Right.
Again, keep it on. You know, keep it moving, because you can hold your head up high, knowing, hey, I help. Right. I contributed to the cause in the best way I could.
Right.
I can't make them follow my wisdom or my instructions. So
yeah. So now, if you ever, because you talked about become an owner operator. Mm-hmm. So have you thought about your dream setup?
No, I haven't thought about that. Because how I look at it, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even. It's talking about with inside the truck, like how I want my truck to be.
Yeah. What type of truck?
What type of truck? Okay. All right.
And if you're gonna pull reefer, dry van, flat.
As far as what I'll be pulling, all I'm gonna say is this: I want to pull as much as I can that makes sense for me, and that what I can handle, what I want to do with my life. Because at the end of the day, I'm a family man. I'm a family oriented type of man. So assuming I have a family by then, again, I'm thinking from perspective. All right, what's gonna give me the most money while at the same time being able to balance out me being gone? I can contribute to my home. You know what I mean? To my wife, to my children, and all of that. So whatever makes sense, I'm willing to do. And so that's where I'm at with it. You know, I'm not closed-minded to any of that. So I'm pretty open. It could be any kind of truck, any kind of freight. It just have to make sense for what I want.
So what kind of practice you got financially then? If you're thinking like that, are you putting any of your money up now?
Yes, I am. I am saving my money. So that's, again, trying to get my, continue to clean my credit and all of that. So I can, when I hit the ground, I want to hit the ground running.
Right,
you know what I mean? And I know I'm going to have hurdles, but at least I know that with those hurdles from me saving and me having things in line and in order, it's not going to hurt as much.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with it, slowly but surely.
That's a good way to be.
I love it.
Because I know a lot of people, they'll go through all of their money, all of their credit cards, their mama's money, everybody's money just to be an owner operator.
Yeah. Come on now, what are you doing? You're damaging yourself.
It's rough. I mean, because what you got to think, when you get that truck, you're married to that truck. Mm-hmm. whether you want to. It's an extension of you. And for me, I always told her that truck service therapy for me, up and down the road. So I'm really geared to the truck. That truck is a part of me, and I actually get my best sleep in that truck. You know, we got a nice home and all that stuff, but I sleep better in the truck. I can't sleep at the house. I know it's crazy.
I might say, don't say that too loud.
Oh, she already knows.
I know she knows,
It's
but you know, I get it.
True.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, and I don't sleep long in the truck, but that's where I get my good sleep at.
Okay.
In the truck. So it's just like, so when you beware, you say family. We always say trucking ain't for a family, man.
It's not, and that's why I said, and that's why I preface, hey, I'm not your typical. Again, truck driving is what I do. You know what I mean, it's not my identity because I know that I go outside of those lines of what a truck driver is.
Right.
So that's why, you know, and it can be done. It's about what do you want out of life and what you're looking for. And so trucking is one of those industries. Whatever you're looking for, however you're trying to manage it, it gives you that platform.
Okay.
To do that. That's what I believe. You know, from what I've been seeing, what people do. You know.
Okay.
Well, it's about your practices too. It's about how you choose to maneuver, like you said, in life. And choices are the determining factor of how you operate in life. Because the choices you make today will always and forever affect the ones that you have to make tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
So earlier you said the trucking company is not as transparent as they should be. So I take it you're not riding for one of the mega carriers.
Not right now, no.
Okay. Bless you.
Not right now, no. You know, one thing about me, if it makes sense, I'm gonna go to where it makes sense. You know, but most importantly, where I'm gonna be valued enough to where you care about my safety and my license. Because on the flip side of things, when you're dealing with those family-owned type of companies, you know, they could play on your license.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, they play on your sanity and your health,
right.
and that's where it gets real crazy. And I'm not one of them kind of brothers where it's though, nah. I was given this opportunity. I have this license. I have this career. Right. I'm not messing it up because you late on freight or you need this done or whatever. And I'm getting ready to go into violation. I don't. Money don't move me.
No,
it don't. So you can take that and give it to somebody else. And at the end of the day, how I look at it is this: because we have our own licenses, this is a partnership more than anything. Yeah. You're utilizing my services, what I do behind the wheel and my knowledge and all of that to move your freight while you're just supplying it. So it's 50-50 in my book.
Okay.
So you don't own me. Even though I'm working alongside you and I can respect your business, but you don't own me. And that's another thing. A lot of these companies have this very Napoleon type complex where they think they could just walk around and talk to and do whatever. The driver's like, hold on, player. Nah, we make this, you know, we out here, we doing this, not you. Just because you got the money in the fronts. Don't mean, you know, at any given time, if we stop and say, hey, we ain't touching that steering wheel, that's going to collapse.
Right.
So, and people got to start recognizing that and respecting everybody. Everybody need to start respecting everybody's position in life, period.
Yeah, it ain't enough care in the world because they say they're too big to fail and they gotta see a new people want to get into our business.
And they going and guess what? Those same sea of new people, they're gonna see, and they gonna wake up at some point. So you're doing something. You're only sowing bad seeds that's gonna bite you back.
But it's hard. It's hard to wake up when you got people online making everything seem like it just never have problems. Yeah, it was just.
I feel you on
that.
It's
a beautiful business.
Let me ask you something. How do you feel about the foreigners? The whole foreigner wave of a whole bunch of foreigners coming, you know, into the trucking industry. And I'm not saying it from a place of that foreigners, you know, don't deserve that opportunity or anything like that. I'm speaking from a lot of companies cutting corners. And they lowballing these drivers because they're foreign.
But you just answered the question.
But I just wanted to make it clear because
bad. Well, when you come into it and you don't have the investment that we have, you know, because I hear a lot of them. They say, I just met a guy the other day. He was an African guy. He said, man, if I didn't bring my wife over here on a visa, I'd be a very rich man. He said, because I wouldn't have a $3,000 mortgage right now. I wouldn't have all these ancestral bills. I'll live in the truck. I'll send all of my money back overseas. I go get me a big house that's $700,000-800,000 here for $60,000 or $70,000. How you think I'm supposed to feel? Because when you work over here, you spend your money and you invest over here. That's what you're supposed to do. So if you're sending it back over here, you take it from us. You know, and so for me, it's and if they're not doing it right. So if you're just taking loads, because you could take a load for $300 where I might say, hey, you really need $500.
Exactly.
So you're undercutting the rates.
And they taking that. And that's what I'm saying. These companies is really milking that to the core. And on top of that, I was at a place and an older gentleman said this, and it really, like, even though I already knew what the issue is and what we're dealing with out here with that whole wave going on, but something he said that was real simple that hit me that makes it even just worse. He said, you got people out here who don't know how to speak an ounce of English driving 80,000
Oh yeah, 80,000 pound truck. Yeah. See,
like? Come on now. When you put in perspective like that, it's like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like again, that's some dangerous stuff right there.
Give you something to think about.
Exactly.
As a group of people, I'm not saying, hey, I don't like that group. I don't like the practice.
That's where I'm at with it.
Like.
Again, I want everybody to be able to sustain and survive. Right. I have no problem with that. It's just that if we're going to do this, let's be real, because the same way how, again, there's a lot of unsafety going on. You know, they may, put our lives in danger, but they also messing up the market from the value perspective of, hey, I'm a driver who's been driving X amount of years. I'm deserving of this amount because of what I put into the game, because of my resume, but you're willing to not, value what I bring because you'll have somebody who's just willing to do whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You're willing to take that risk.
Right.
And it's like that kills the morale of everything, because at that point, like what I said, what's the point of putting on a resume 3+ years experience?
And they don't even, a lot of the farms don't even try to keep their equipment up. They just
they don't care.
Yeah, it's not about trucking. It's just about what they can get out of it.
Because their money is ×2 or ×3 back over where they at. So they're willing to take whatever. They're willing to do a load. I one time I talked to a driver, he does over the road. I'm asking him how much, he volunteered how much he bring home in a week. I'm like, excuse me?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, dang, you accepted that?
Right.
But he don't know. And but also he's doing what he got to do for his situation.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, yo, so you telling me you away from home, away from your family, living out of a truck, not having nowhere to go, and you willing to do this for under $1,000 a week?
Right. That's crazy.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
That's a problem.
Right.
And I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? That is a major problem to an industry where we know how big money can get.
It's killing us one day at a time, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon, because a lot of these big freight brokerages, they rely on that now.
Yes,
they
that's what I'm saying.
people coming into business, because right now it's about 7,000 companies that go in and out of business in a month. So what I'm saying is you got 7,000 exiting, and then you got 7,000 entering. So they're not losing anything.
Exactly.
But what they're gaining is we get this whole new perspective of people
that don't know.
That's
the key.
And let's keep the party rolling. And that's what I don't like, because you're sitting over there, you've earned it, you've earned the wings to do what you do, and they come up in, hey, I got a bid for half of what you're talking about.
Right.
But take it. And then once you figure out they done flipped the truck, or they late or whatever, because it does make a difference. Then you'll come back, and now I want double. And that's basically what I do. Right. I want more.
And I don't blame you for doing that, because because we know on the bigger scale what's going on and what's stacked up against us. Yeah. Like we're talking about automation, we're talking about the foreigners, we're talking about all these different kinds of things that does not work for American driving or drivers, that does not cater because of what's going on that we cannot control. So I can't blame a brother or sister saying, give me all my money.
Right.
Yeah.
I want all of it. I want every penny. I want it. Oh, no, you're deserving of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? All I would say is just make sure you can handle what's coming behind that. That's all I would say. You know what I mean? Don't be greedy. Yeah. Just take whatever you can handle.
I respect, I respect them if they come over here and try to do it the right way.
Exactly.
No problem. Come over here the right way. Learn how to be safe.
Right.
I mean, learn how to bid on freight. Learn how to accept freight. At a rate that we can all survive on. And they don't do that.
And most importantly, learn how to follow the rules of the road.
Oh no, they ain't. They dangerous.
There are a lot of dangerous truck drivers out here.
Did y'all see that video? Or that I don't want to botch the race or ethnicity.
I stopped watching them because they're so bad when they do have accidents.
The last one I saw, it was the one that was real major out there in California. It looked like I'm gonna just say a Middle Eastern brother, where he busted a U-turn in the middle of a highway and the car just went under his trailer, killing some people. And the thing that got me was how unfazed he was.
Yeah,
it was just like he didn't care.
Yeah,
like he was just like, it's like he didn't even blink.
But
like,
okay,
I'm just like, I'm like, sheesh. I'm like, that's tough.
But even for California, they got some work to do. Think about it. You got the truck speed at 55, but cars can run 70.
Make it make sense.
It's already a problem. If you're in a lane and you can't get out that lane, and if you look at California, a lot of those cars end up under ICC bumper trucks. The truck's going too slow.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? So you take both of those scenarios. It's just bad out there, right. And I stopped going. I stopped going to California because it's not worth it to me.
Well, allegedly, they allegedly had just put a big stop to a lot of that stuff that was going on out there, as far as like people falsifying their licenses, getting the foreigners, in trucks, putting them behind them wheels, doing everything the wrong way, allegedly. So we'll see. But the bigger enemy is definitely that automation. The Siri and Alexa out here, they plotting and planning.
So what's your outlook on trucking? You say in 10 years it's done.
Right. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it. 10 years, this is done, man.
So you're going to be a short-term owner operator.
I guess. Listen, I'm going to get in where I fit in. That's how we going to do it. And it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, one thing about this journey in life, you got to be multifaceted. You got to be willing to pivot, and that's one of the key things in life. You know, what you may do this chapter, you might not be doing next chapter.
Right.
Right.
You got to just keep your mind open.
Yeah.
You know, again, it is what it is.
And that's what I had told her a long time ago. I said, man, I'm going back to college to take up IT. Because I mean, everything on that side. Yeah, but I was behind the wheel, and I'm gonna just be honest. I was taking exams going down the highway, and I told her, hey, I gotta choose one. Either I'm gonna do school or I'm gonna do the truck. And I just said I'm gonna do trucks. Keep doing trucks.
Right.
Because I was doing good, and then one night I was going to Jacksonville, and I was like, hey, I'm looking more at this at the computer than I am in the road. So I was like, nah, I can't keep doing this. And I was making straight A's, and I just said, yeah. So I just pick this back up when I get time. But we doing something else now.
Hey, well, listen, and thankfully,
You never know what he has in store for you.
Never know. Y'all keep on moving. Got to keep on moving.
Yeah,
so, you know.
But we appreciate you tapping in, and you know we got to have you back.
I appreciate y'all for having me. For giving me the platform to just hear me speak.
Oh,
I
man, we got
that.
to.
And I enjoy having this conversation with you.
Dude, a 26-year-old, and I know more about you, a little bit more about the background that we're given, but it's just like you avoided all of that stuff that we was talking about, and that's very commendable.
All glory to the Most High.
Yeah,
praise
very
God.
commendable. So
real.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Well,
Thank
y'all
you so
keep
much.
doing what y'all doing. Oh, and last thing I want to tell y'all, audience, to anybody who is married or dealing with somebody who drive trucks or know somebody, family, whatever, we do not know when we get off. So please stop asking us, when do we get off? When do we start? We don't know. Every day it's a rolling of the dice. We don't know. Again, so if we still manage to make it to recitals, baby showers, whatever, extend that grace, even if we is late, because again, every day it is a straight, it's a toss-up. We don't know.
Right.
So, and this is coming from me. This is again. That's why he laughing, because he know.
Yeah.
You know, he know how it is. We don't know. And so anything can happen.
I tell you, I done missed everything for all my kids, and that's one of my big regrets. And and she can tell you that everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's with that dollar. You know what I'm saying? But I made the money, and they got a good life. But look at the flip side.
And that's where it's like, you know, depending on where you're at and how you're going about things, as long as a man you have established that foundation at home amongst your people, they should have that understanding, knowing, hey, listen, Pop's got to get on that road and make sure we funnel. But it's about understanding.
What you just say, driver?
Understanding. You got to get that understanding.
What you just say, driver?
In order for me to fund this life, take care of the family, I have to be on this road. Now, it has to be understanding on both sides, because the same way, because sometimes we can get caught up in the chase of like, oh yeah, no, this little offering, crazy dollars, no, you know, but it might be baby girl recital or graduation. You know, you have to pick your battles wisely, and that's all I can say. You know, don't be a victim. Don't just make sure. I hear a lot of brothers and sisters out here, you know, they on the chase. I get it, but definitely don't forget who you have to come back home to, because that's your foundation. You know, from a physical standpoint.
Well, they got to remember who paying for that house.
Exactly. It goes a two-way street. It needs to be understanding. That's the takeaway. The takeaway is what I'm saying, audience. Patience and understanding. Patience and understanding is going to take you a long way.
With everything.
With everything in life. Just please, just have an understanding heart and be quick to hear, slow to speak.
Yeah, because truck driving ain't easy. Like I had told you when we spoke yesterday, I said, man, we're going to do this in between loads. Yeah. And I arranged to have my trailer drop at the shipper. I load tonight at 11 o'clock. Back at it. I'm local, but I'm OT.
Oh, right, OT all local, man. You got a lot of alphabets going on, brother. You know?
Appreciate you.
But no, appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Plain old talk.